Hello guys, today we are going to review the movie Hello, I Must Be Going that came in 2012 and let's do its full movie review and know about its a lot of deep facts. Then start with its overview. Its title is Hello, I Must Be Going. It's released in 2012 and its director was Todd Lois and writer Todd Lois and Dave Mendel. And its a genre is it's a comedy, drama, and romance movie. And if we talk about its runtime, then it's exploring approximately 90 minutes. And if we talk about its rating, then it's R rating movie. Well, let's know about first plot summary. Hello, I must be going. Centers around Amy Melanie Lynskey, a woman in her mid 30s who is devastated after a painful divorce, struggling to find her footing. She faces an existential crisis and a sense of stagnation in her life, and her life takes an unexpected turn when she reconnects with her former boyfriend Jeremy Christopher Abbott, who is now charming but aimless 20 years old. His mother Ruth encourages her to get out of Ruth, leading Amy to develop a close, complicated friendship with Jeremy. As Amy spends more time with Jeremy and his carefree, youthful perspective, she begins to discover her own passions and desire, confronting her loneliness, insecurities, and the challenges of moving forward. The film delicately explores themes of self-discovery, aging, and the importance of embracing change. And if we talk about detailed review, firstly talk about tone and style. Hello, I Must Be Going is a subtle, character-driven film with a tone that balances humor and poignancy. It emphasizes emotionally authenticity, focusing on nuanced performances rather than spectacles. Todd Lois' direction creates an intimate atmosphere, capturing the quiet disappear and fragile hope of Amy's journey. And if we talk about performances, Melanie Lynskey delivers a deeply resonant performance portraying Amy's vulnerability, inner turmoil, and eventual awakening with some play. Her portrayal makes Amy relatable and sympathetic, capturing the complex emotions of someone trying to rebuild their life. And if we talk about Christopher Abbott, as Jeremy embodies youthful charm, innocence, and a hint of vulnerability, his character acts as a catalyst for Amy's self-reflection. And if we talk about Liz Taylor, as Ruth provides warmth and wisdom, subtly guiding Amy through her emotional struggle. And if we talk about David Wilson as Jeremy's brother, adds humor and to the story. And if we talk about themes and interpretation, aging and self-discovery, the film explores the discomfort and fear associated with aging, especially for women facing midlife crisis. Emily's journey is about embracing change, rediscovering herself beyond social expectations. And if we talk about loneliness and connection, it examines loneliness at different life stages and the importance of genuine human connection. And if we talk about reinvention and growth, image involving relationship with charity symbolizes the possibility of reinvention at an age, emphasizing that life doesn't end at a certain point. We talk about youth and age. The film delicately navigates the tension between youthful vitality and mature wisdom, suggesting that both have value and can coexist. And if we talk about critical analysis, hello, I must be going with friends words. Honest portrait of humans and emotional landscape it avoids cliches opting instead for nuanced exploration of personal growth. The film subtly humor complement his its emotional depth, creating a complaining balance. The storytelling emphasizes that healing and changes often come gradually and that vulnerability is a strength. The film champions authenticity and expectance, leaving viewers with a sense of hope. Reinvention at any age, emphasizing that life doesn't end at a certain point. Youth and age, the film delicately navigates the tension between youthful vitality and mature wisdom, suggesting that both have value and can coexist. And if we talk about critical analysis, hello, I must be going. It's praised for its honest portrayal of human emotional landscape. It avoids cliches, opting instead for nuanced exploration of personal growth. The film's subtle humor complements its emotional depth, creating a complaining balance. And if we talk about the storytelling, emphasizes that healing and change often come gradually and that vulnerability is a strength. The film champions authenticity and self-acceptation, leaving viewers with a sense of hope and empathy. And if we talk about cinematic elements, let's talk about direction. Todd Lewis's restrained direction allows performances to shine and maintains an intimate tone. And if we talk about cinematography, soft muted color plate reflecting the subdued emotional state of the protagonist. And if we talk about music, a carefully curated soundtrack featuring India and folk songs that underscore the film's reflective mood. And if we talk about pacing, slow and deliberate, allowing character development to unfold naturally. And if we talk about notable scenes and moments, Amy's confrontation with her ex-husband, a raw, emotionally charged scene that highlights her pain and desire for closure. And if we talk about Amy and Jeremy's works and connect the summoners of guide connection that reveals their character vulnerabilities. Emily's decision to embrace change, the turning point where she begins to accept her life and look forward. And if we talk about cosmetic realization, Emmy's acceptation of her past and hope for the future, symbolized by her renewed sense of purpose. And if we talk about critical reception and impact, the film received positive reviews for its sensitive storytelling and Lynskey's heartfelt performance. It was appreciated for its realistic depiction of midlife struggles and the complexities of human relationships. While not a blockbuster, it gained a cult following among audience who values character-driven dramas and India films. If we talk about interesting facts and behind Melanie Lynskey's career boosted her complaint performance drew praise and led to more prominent roles in Indian films and television. Chicago realism. The script was praised for its authentic dialogue and naturalistic tone, capturing the subtleties of middle life crisis. We talk about casting. Christopher Abbott was relatively unknown at the time but has praised for the natural performance which added depth to Jeremy. If we talk about inspiration, the story was inspired by real life experience of women facing similar struggle with aging and reinvention. We talk about filming location, shot primarily in Los Angeles, with some scenes in suburban setting to evoke everyday life. If we talk about soundtrack, features India artists like Aaron and Wine and Science, since enhancing the reflective mood. If we talk about summary and final thought, Hello, I Must Be Going is a quite heartfelt exploration of midlife loneliness and renewal. Its strength lies in its authentic performance, nuance, storytelling, and emotional honesty. It offers a gentle reminder that changes is possible at any age and that embracing vulnerability can lead to personal growth and happiness. The film is recommended for viewers who appreciate character driven stories, Indian cinema, and films that explores the complexity of human emotions with sensitivity and depth. And if we talk about its ultimate mega detailing and facts compilation. That's within the introduction. An Indian dream about midlife and self-discovery. Hello, I must be going to stand out as a quietly powerful Indian film that delicately explores the often overlooked phase of midlife crisis, personal reinvention, and emotional healing, directed by Todd Lewis in his feature depth. The film resonates with anyone who has faced moments of existential doubt, loneliness, or the courageous challenges of rebuilding life after sad act. Its subtle humor, genuine performance, and poetic storytelling elevate it beyond typical Indian fare, making it a complaining character study. We talk about extended plot breakdown and narrative arc. Protagonist state of mind, Amy's emotional landscape. Amy is introduced as a woman in her mid 30s, emotional fragile and grappling with the aftermath of a painful divorce. From her husband, she is depicted as lost, unfulfilled, and stuck in a rut, living in her childhood home with her mother. Ruth, the early scenes reveals her struggles, a sense of staying innocent, a longing for connection, and an underlying grief that she has not fully processed. If we talk about the catalyst, unexpected visit and reconnection, the plot takes a pivotal turn when Amy's world college boyfriend, Jeremy Christopher Abbott, unexpectedly shows up at her house. Jeremy is starring free-spirited. If we talk about protagonist state of mind and his emotional landscape, Amy is introduced. Sorry, wait. If we talk about the escalation, friendship, and boundaries, Amy begins spending more time with Jeremy, engaging in conversation about life, love, and self-discovering. Their interaction are filled with subtle tension, unspoken desire, and emotional vulnerability. Amy finds herself drawn to Jeremy's youthful energy, which contrasts sharply with her own feelings of stagnation. And if we talk about, meanwhile, Jeremy's carefree attitude and innocence serve as a mirror for Amy's suppressed desire and unfulfilled dreams. Their friendship blurs boundaries, creating an delicate balance between platonic affection and romantic undertone, adding layers of complexity to our themes of aging and self-acceptance. Executions are worth, her attractiveness, and her purpose. The film subtly critiques social pressures that equate youth with happiness, suggesting that emotional renewal is possible at any age. If we talk about climatic turning point and visualization, the story reaches a climax when we face her fears and make a pivotal decision to embrace change. She recognizes that her happiness depends on accepting her past. And if we let's deep dive into themes and symbolism. First, let's talk about midlife transition, personal growth. The core theme revolves around the universe experience of midlife transition. The film portrays this period as an of potential renewal rather than decline. A journey echoes the idea that discovery, rediscovery, and reinvention are possible at any stage in life. If we talk about loneliness and human connection, the film poignantly depicts loneliness as a common human experience, especially among women navigating personal upheavals. Amy's interaction with Jeremy and her mother highlight the importance of genuine human connection, emotional vulnerability, and the healing power of companionship. If we talk about the youth and age dual narrative, the film explores the tension between youth and age, challenging stereotypes that equate aging with loss. Jeremy's youthful optimism contrasts with Amy's midlife complexities, illustrating that vitality and wisdom can coexist. And if we talk about self acceptance and authenticity, Amy's story emphasizes the importance of accepting oneself and embracing imperfection. Her journey towards self acceptance underscores that happiness comes from authenticity, not social expectation or superficial appearance. If we talk about the role of family and mentorship, Fruit Center provides a stabilizing influence, offering wisdom and unconditional love. Her presence underscores the importance of family support during time of personal crisis. The feeling philosophically suggests that healing often comes from within the through meaningful relationship. And if we talk about character analysis and development, I Lynskey talk about personality and traits. sensitive, introspective, vulnerable, with a dry sense of humor. She is intentionally passive but grows into a more confident and self-assured person. And if we talk about characters, are from emotional paralysis and self-doubt to self-awareness and acceptance. Her interaction with Jeremy and her mother serve as catalyst for her transformation. And if we talk about symbolism, represent the average woman facing midlife doubts, illustrating that emotional renewal is possible beyond you. If we talk about Jeremy personality and traits, charismatic, charming with a youthful innocence, his career outlook mask underlying insecurity. And if we talk about a role, catalyst for amnesia self-discovery, his youthful optimism contrast with her emotional baggage. Growth learns that life is about balance, enjoyment without reckless abandon and responsibility. Alongside freedom, and if we talk about root, light, tenor, personality and traits, wise, mature, nurturing, pragmatic, and supporting. And if we talk about cinematic style, no. We were at its impact, right? We serve as a grounding figure for Amy, encouraging her to confront her fears. We talk about transformation, demonstrates that unconditional love and understanding are vital during life's transition. Talk about Jeremy's brother, David Walton, role and traits, provides comic relief and perspective on Jeremy's youthful innocence and life choices. Cinematic style and direction, Todd Lice employs a rushed and naturalistic approach, favoring close-up shots that capture the subtle emotional of characters. The film's visual palette is muted and subdued, reflecting the introspective mood. And if we talk about cinematography, utilizes soft lighting and naturalistic framing, emphasizing intimacy and emotional honesty. If we talk about editing, paces slowly, allowing viewers to sit with the character, emotions and thoughts. Talk about music, postures, India and folk tracks that evoke contemplative moods, reinforcing themes of introspection and renewal. And if we talk about notable scene and symbolic movements, Ami's conversation with her ex-husband. A raw, emotionally charged scene where Amy confronts her past, highlighting her pain and desire for closure. It marks a turning point in her acceptance of her situation. If we talk about Jeremy and Amy's walk, their conversation amid scene setting symbolizes the possibility of new beginnings and rediscovery. If we talk about Amy's decision to embrace change, a pivotal scene where she chooses to step out of her comfort zone, symbolized visual by her leaving the house and facing the unknown. And if we talk about the final scene, Amy at a crossroad with a look of tentative hope, suggesting that her journey towards self-rediscovery is ongoing. We talk about critical reception and cultural significance. The film was well received in India, surfaced and among audience craving authentic storytelling. Critics praised Melanie Lynskey's nuanced performances and the film's delicate handling of mature themes. It's regarded as a quietly powerful meditation on aging, love, and the importance of self-acceptance, inspiring viewers to reflect on their own lives. And if we talk about interesting facts and behind the scene trivia, Melania Lynskey's career boost, though known for a role into and a half man, this film showcased her dramatic depth, leading to more diverse roles. Filming locations shot primarily in Los Angeles with some scenes in suburban areas to evoke Ami's domestic life. And if we talk about the screenplay and origins inspired by real stories of women facing midlife crisis and seeking the new. We talk about casting inside Christopher, but was cast after impressing the filmmaker with his naturalistic acting despite being relatively unknown at the time. And if we talk about music and creation, the sound features folk and indie artists chosen for their reflective qualities. We talk about directors' approach to art was aimed for authority city, encouraging actors to improvise and bring their own emotional truth to scenes. If we talk deeper, philosophical and emotionally reflects, hello, I must be going intense views to contemplate the nature of happiness, aging, and personal growth. It suggests that life most profound transformation often come from accepting our vulnerabilities and embracing change. The film echoes the idea that it's never too late to reinvent oneself, find new love, or pursue passions thought lost to time. It also emphasizes the importance of self-compassion, resilience, and the recognition that loneliness is a shared human experience that can be elevated through authentic connection. We talk about final words and recommendation. Hello, I must be going is a beautiful crafted emotionally rich film that offers a mature perspective on life's transition. It's ideal for audience interested in character-driven stories, indie cinema, and films that explore emotional depth and subtlety and grace. If you appreciate films that delve into the complexity of human emotions and the journey towards self acceptance, the movie is a must watch. Its quiet power and honest storytelling leave a lasting impression, encouraging viewers to embrace their own journey of growth and renewal. Let's talk about more. Let's talk about this the definitive and scientific view and complex. If we talk about introduction and intimate portrait of midlife and emotional resilience. Hello, I must be going is an indication that quietly but powerfully explores the nuanced emotional landscape of women navigating the often overlooked terrain of midlife crisis, personal reinvention, and the complex journey towards emotional healing, directed by Todd Lewis in his Doubt feature. The film stands out for its raw honesty, subtlety, humor, and deeply empathetic storytelling. This film resonates with viewers who have experienced heartbreak, loneliness, or the challenge of starting over. Regardless of age, its gentle tone and authentic performance make it a compelling meditation on aging, graceful, embracing vulnerability, and discover inner strength. If we talk about extensive plot breakdown and layered narrative, protagonist state of mind and emotional foundation. Amy is introduced as a woman in her 30s, visible, emotionally drained, living in her childhood home with her mother. Ruth, her life appears confrontingly familiar but emotionally unfulfilling. She is depicted as a woman carrying the weight of her past, her divorce, her regrets, her fears about aging, and her sense of stagnation. If we talk about early scenes, show her in quiet reflection, her interaction with her mother are tender, but it is with concern she is shown to be a woman who has sacrificed her own happiness, perhaps out of fear of change or rejection. And if we talk about the incident and reconnections, The story pivots when Jeremy Christopher about a former college boyfriend unexpectedly appears at her doorstep. Jeremy, now a young man of 19, a charming, slightly naive, and full of youthful energy. His arrival triggers a cascade of emotional memory and unresolved feelings for Amy. Jeremy's visit is initially casual, but it stirs a longing within Amy to revisit her youthful aspirations and rekindle her sense of possibility, drift with perspective, and wise subtly encourages Amy to seize life's opportunity, planting seed for eventual transformation. Then, if we talk about themes and aging, self-discovery and renewal. Throughout the film, Amy confronts her fears about aging and social expectations as she questions her self-worth beyond her appearance and mistake grappling with internalized gaze and social stereotypes that equate aging with decline. The narrative underscore that personal growth is ongoing and that reinvention is possible at any age. Amy's journey is about embracing her vulnerabilities, forgiving herself, and finding joy in the present moments. And if we talk about climatic moments and resolution, the climax arrives as Amy mistakes a conscious decision to embrace change, fully leaving behind her comfort zone. The final scenes depict her stepping into an uncertain future with tentative hope, symbolizing her acceptance of life's impermanence and her own resilience. The film closes on a note of quiet optimism. Amy's look forward, not back, a testament to the enduring human capacity for renewal. If we talk about in-depth thematic exploration, the midlife crisis as a catalyst for growth. The film reframes the middle crisis not as a period of despair but as an opportunity for self-reflection and transformation. Amy's emotional appeal is portrayed as a natural and we talk about the power of connection and authentic relationship. The narrative emphasizes genuine human connection as a vital component. If we talk about the myth of youth and embarrassing aging, The film challenges social stereotypes that equate youth with happiness. Jeremy's youthful view in contrast with Amy's midlife struggle, illustrating that vitality and wisdom are not mutually exclusive. It advocates for embracing aging as a natural, edible process. And if we talk about the role of family and mentorship, and let's talk about character deep dive and psychological profiles. First, start with Amy, Melanie, and Lynskey. If we talk about personality traits, sensitive, introspective, emotional, guarded with a drive, with inner conflict, struggles with the struggle with the self-esteem, fear of aging, and irrelevance, guilt over her past. If we talk about growth trajectory from passive to proactive, learning to embrace her vulnerabilities and pursue happiness. If we talk about symbolism, represent countless women facing midlife challenges, embodying resilience and hope. If we talk about Jeremy Christopher Abbott, personality traits, charismatic name, optimistic with underlying insecurity. Role in Amy's life, catalyst for her self-reflection, embodying youthful vitality and potential for a new. And if we talk about growth, learns that life requires balance, enjoyment, temper with responsibility. And if we talk about symbolism, the archetype of youthful possibility, reminding us that aging is a mindset. Age is a mindset, and if we talk about root, Blath, Danner, Personality traits wise, naturally nurturing, pragmatic, emotional, perceptive, influence, guides Amy with gentle wisdom, encouraging her to embrace life's changes. Talk transformative demonstrates that love and understanding are essential at all life stages. If we talk about Jeremy's brother, David Walton, role and traits provides comic relief, perspective on youthful impulsiveness, and a glimpse into Jeremy's family life. And if we talk about cinematic uh, technique and artistic elements, let's talk about then direction and tone. Todd Lewis' direction employs a restrained, naturalistic style, emphasizing emotional authenticity. His approach fosters intimacy, allowing viewers to experience a character's inner world. If we talk about cinematography, soft lighting, muted color palettes, and intimate framing evoke a contemplative mood. The cinematography captures subtle facial expression and body language essential for conveying unspoken emotions. If we talk about music and soundtrack, the soundtrack features India folk artists like Aaron and Wine, Sisa and the Signs and other. These songs reinforce themes of introspection, longing, and hope, often used in key emotional scenes. If we talk about editing and pacing, the slow deliberate pacing allows viewers to savor the character moment and internal conflict. The film's rhythm mirrors the contemplative nature of Amy's journey. And if we talk about key scene and symbolism, Amy's confrontation with her ex-husband, a raw, emotionally charged scene where Amy asserts her independence and confronts her past. It symbolizes her acceptance of her history and her readiness to move forward. If we talk about Jeremy and Amy's walks and deep conversation, scenes set in scenic locations symbolizes new beginning and the journey towards self-discovery. Their dialogues reveals inner roots and emotional vulnerabilities. have made decision to leave her comfort zone, pivotal moment where she chooses to step into the unknown. Symbolized visual by her physical living house and emotionally shedding her fears. And if we talk about critical reception and cultural context, the film earned praise for its honest portrayal of midlife struggles, a theme that resonates increasingly with modern audience. Critics lauded Melanie Lynskey performance, noting her ability to portray vulnerability with authenticity. It has been celebrated for challenging stereotypes about aging in Hollywood, advocating for stories that focus on emotional growth at an age. The film became a favorite among indie film enthusiasts and women's studies circle, highlighting its cultural relevance. If we talk about behind the scene and trivia, first thing that is come is casting choices. Melanie Lynskey was chosen for her ability to embody emotional depth and vulnerability, which become her signature strength. And if we talk about director's inspiration, told the history from personal stories and real life experience of women facing midlife challenges aiming for authenticity. If we talk about filming location, primarily shot in Los Angeles, was chosen for the relatable everyday feel. If we talk about music selection, carefully curated India folk track to evoke introspection and emotional resilience. Talk about script development. The screenplay was developed through extensive research, interviews, and personal anecdotes. If we talk about critical influence, the film is seen as part of a more broader movement towards more diverse narrative about women and aging in cinema. We talk about philosophical and emotional reflective. Hello, I must be encouraged to reflect on the nature of happiness, aging, and personal growth. It advocates that life moves. The film subtly suggests that social narratives about aging are limiting and that every stage of life holds potential for renewal, love, and fulfillment. It champions authenticity, resilience, and the ongoing journey of self-discovery. We talk about summary and final recommendation. Hello, I must be going is a quite a profound, beautiful, crafted film that explores the depths of human emotion with subtlety and grace. Its themes of aging, love, loneliness, and renewal are universal, making it a timeless piece for anyone facing life's transition. This movie is highly recommended for fans of character-driven drama, indie films, and stories that celebrate vulnerability and resilience. Its understated power leaves a lasting impression, inspiring viewers to view aging not as an end, but as a new beginning. Let's talk about more. If we talk about is the most exhaustive, lengthiest, and deeply detailed review and fact completion ever, then let's again start with introduction. Hello, I must be going. It's not merely a film, it's a evocative, poetic meditation on the human condition, particularly on the themes of aging, self acceptance, love, and renewal. It captures the quiet, often unnoticed struggle of women in their midlife, confronting social stereotypes and their own eternal narratives about worth and sin. It was directed by Todd Lewis, a filmmaker making his features depth. The film exemplifies understated storytelling that relies on nuanced performances, subtle visual symbolism, and a deeply empathetic approach. Its understated tone and authentic dialogue make it a film that invites multiple viewing, revealing new layers with each revisit. If we talk about a deep dive into the plot, the journey of self discovery and acceptance. Talk about protagonist, psychological state, and emotional foundation. Amy is introduced as a woman in her mid 30s living in a state of emotional limbo. Her life is a familiar but unfulfilling, marked by the remnants of her past relationship and a sense of stagnation. Her interaction with her mother, Ruth, reveals a nurturing yet subtly critical dynamic. Ruth's freedom often cloaked in gentle honesty. With internal monologue and silent but palpable, she seems to carry a burden of unspoken regrets, social acceptance, expectations, and personal doubts. Her daily routines, her quiet house, her solitary walks are visual metaphors for her eternal stagnation. The catalyst in Jeremy's arrival, a spark of hope. Jeremy's surprise visit act as a catalyst, shaking Amy out of her complacency. Jeremy's college. The car now living aimlessly embodies the vitality and possibility history yearns for his youthful enthusiasm combined with a naive innocence makes him both charming and unpredictable. Jeremy's arrival awakens buried desires and Amy longing for adventure, love, and maybe even a second chance at happiness. Their initial conversations are laced with nostalgia, but they quickly evolve into meaningful exchanges about life's uncertainties, the evolving relationships, friendship, flirtation, and emotional intimacy. Amy and Jeremy's interaction are layered. They share walks, conversations, and moments of quiet reflection. Their bond is textured with unspoken feelings, subtle glances, and mutual understanding that transcends words. Jeremy's youthful optimism acts as my mirror, reflecting Amy's own suppressed dreams. Their relationship plus traditional boundaries, neither purely platonic nor romantic, but a complex mixture of emotional intimacy and vulnerability. We talk about themes of aging, solitary, and personal growth. Throughout the film, Amy confronts her fear about aging and social perception. She begins to see herself beyond her appearance and social roles, recognizing that her values is not solely defined by youth or social standard. The narrative emphasizes that transformation is ongoing and renewal is accessible at any age. A major journey is about embracing her vulnerabilities, forgiving herself, and discovering her inner resilience. If we talk about cinematic moments and resolution, the climax involves Amy making a pivotal choice to embrace her life fully despite fear and uncertainties. Her decision to leave her comfort zone symbolizes her acceptance of impermanence and her own capacity for change. In the final scene, Amy steps into the future with a tentative but hopeful outlook. The film ends on an ambiguous note, implying that her journey is ongoing, but she is now open to whatever life whispers. Uh, we talk about embarrassing, aging, and challenging social stereotypes. The narrative challenges challenges the social obsession with youth, illustrating that wisdom, vitality, and fulfillment can flourish at any age. Jeremy's youthful energy contrasts with Amy's midlife struggles, emphasizing that age is more a state of mind than biological fact. We talk about in-depth character analysis and psychological profiles. Amy, Melanie, Lynskey, the inner world and transformation. Personality sensitive, introspective, guarded with a dry, subtle humor. Inner conflicts struggle with feeling of inadequacy, fears of aging, guilt over her past choices. Growth move from emotional paralysis to active pursuit of her happiness. Embracing vulnerability towards simulation embodies the universal experience of human confronting midlife challenges, embodying resilience and hope. We talk about Jeremy Christopher about youthful optimism and hidden depth. Talk about personality, charismatic, naive, smartness with underlying insecurities. We talk about stone. Catalyst for Amaze Awakening, representing youthful vitality and potential. And if we talk about growth, learns the importance of enjoyment tempered with responsibility. Symbolism represent the type of youthful possibility, reminding viewers that age is a mindset. And if we talk about root, light, tenor, wisdom, and unconditional love. We talk about personality, wise, nursing, pragmatic, emotional, perceptive. If we talk about the impact, guides Amy with gentle wisdom, encouraging her to pursue life's changes. And if we talk about transformation, demonstrates that love and understanding are essential at all stages of life. And if we talk about Jeremy's brother and supporting characters provide comic relief, their perspective on youth and insights into Jeremy's family life, their interaction, and depth and humor, balancing emotional intensity. If we talk about cinematic style and artistic choices, and then let's talk about direction and work. Tornoise employs a restrained, naturalistic style that emphasizes emotional authenticity. His approach creates an intimate atmosphere that draws the viewers into the character in words. And if we talk about visual aesthetics, cinematography, soft lighting, close-up shots that capture subtle facial expression. And if we talk about film, intimate composition highlights the character emotional states. And if we talk about symbolism, visual motifs like open doorway, reflective surface, and scenic landscape symbolizes transition, self-awareness, and motion. And if we talk about sound and music, the soundtrack features indie and folk artists such as Iron and Wine, The Shine, The Sins, and Bon Iver. These tracks evoke introspection, longing, and hope, enhancing emotional resonance. And if we talk about editing and pacing, the deliberate pacing allows viewers to savor character moments and internal conflicts, fostering emotional engagement. And if we talk about memorable scenes and symbolic moments, if we talk about Amy's confrontation with the past, another scene where Amy confronts her ex-husband, symbolizing acknowledgement of the past and readiness to move forward. And if we talk about Jeremy and Amy's scenic work, and if we talk about critical reception and cultural impact, the film was praised for its honest portrayal of women's midlife experiences. Melanie Lynskey's nuanced performances can widespread acclaim. It was hailed as a refreshing addition to India cinema, challenging stereotypes about aging. The film resonated with a broad audience, especially women, for its relatable themes. It becomes a cult hit among those seeking stories about emotional resilience, and renewal. We talk about behind the scene insights and trivia, and talk about casting choices. Melanie and Lynskey was chosen for her ability to portray vulnerability, authentically. If we talk about filming locations, shot mainly in Los Angeles suburbs and scenic landscape to evoke familiarity and introspection. Our inspiration based on real stories of women facing midlife challenges, trying from interviews, and personal narratives. And if we talk about music curation, carefully selected India tracks to evoke mood and underscore themes. If we talk about the script development, developed through extensive research emphasizing authentic dialogues and emotional truth. We talk about directors' approach toward voices, encouraged improvisation and emotional honesty from actors. If we talk about philosophical and emotional reflection, hello, I must be going invite viewers to reflect on the nature of happiness and the fluidity of identity. It advocates that aging is a natural, beautiful process and that renewal is always possible regardless of social expectations. The film champions vulnerability as a strength, emphasizing that authentic connections and self acceptance are keys to fulfillment. It challenges the narrative that life's best years are behind us, suggesting instead that the journey of self discovery continues throughout life. If we talk about final thought and recommendation, hello, I Must Be Going is a gentle, profound masterpiece that explores the universal human experience with honesty and compassion. Its themes are timeless, its performance is genuine, and its message empowering. Highly recommended for anyone interested in character driven stories that explore emotional growth, aging, and love. It offers a refreshing perspective, reminding us that every stage of life holds potential for renewal and happiness. We talk about more, and yes, we have to go for it. Yes. Then let's talk about its ultimate, most exhaustive and lengthiest review and fact compilation of this movie. Then again start with introduction. Hello, I Must Be Going is more than just a film. It's a cinematic ode to the unspoken, often overlooked emotional struggles of women navigating the complex, transformative years of midlife. It challenges social narrative that equates aging with decline and instead celebrates the resilience, vulnerability, and possibility that come with embracing change. We talk about directed by Todd Lewis, a filmmaker making his debut. With this project, the film employs minimalistic aesthetics, subtle performances, and poetic narrative style to craft an intimate portrait of self-discovery, love, and renewal. Its understated tone and authentic storytelling have made it a cult favorite among cinephiles and those seeking stories that reflect real human experiences. This extensive reviews aims to be the definitive guide to understanding. Hello, I'm dissecting every thematic elements, character nuance, cinematic technique, cultural impact, and behind the scene insights, extending into philosophical reflection. Prepare for a deep dive into a film that is as profound as it is gentle. And if we talk about comprehensive plot analysis, the subtle power of transformation. If we talk about protagonist's inner landscape and emotional backdrop, Amy is introduced as a woman in her mid-30s living quite somewhat monotonous life in her childhood home. Her demeanor is subdued, her expression often reflective of eternal sadness, her regret, and longing. Her interactions with her mother, Ruth, reveal a nurturing yet slightly critical dynamic that underscores her internal conflict. Amy's world is characterized by a sense of emotional stagnation. Her days are routine, her mind haunted by unspoken regrets, social expectations, and the fear of aging. She appears to have sacrificed her aspirations for stability, a common narrative for women in her position. And if we talk about the catalyst, Jeremy's unexpected visit. Jeremy arrives unexpectedly at Emmy's doorstep, acting as mirror to her youthful self and a catalyst for her emotional awakening. Jeremy, a college dropout, now aimless, embodies a fragile hopefulness and naive optimism. His presence stirs long buried feeling and unresolved desire within Amy. However, Jeremy's character is layered. Beneath his carefree surface lies a sense of vulnerability and insecurity, reflecting the universal human fear of insignificance and a desire for connection. We talk about evolving relationship and emotional complexity. Their interactions collide between playful banter, heartfelt confession, and moments of awkward silence, each revealing internal conflicts. If we talk about themes of aging, self-discovery, and renewal, throughout the narrative, Amy is faced with her eternal fears about aging, her appearance, social worth, and the possibility of being forgotten. Yet the film underscores that truly fulfillment lies in self acceptance and embodying vulnerability. If we talk about Emmy's eternal arc, is about shedding social expectations and reconnecting with her authentic self. Her journey is about recognizing that renewal is an ongoing process. Aging is a state. Age is a state of mind, not merely a biological fact. And it was the review of this movie. I hope you like it, you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. Let's meet on next. And if there is any mistakes, and then I apologize. But thank you for being here. Goodbye.